All right. Good, dearest ones. Here we are. A little meditation, 30 minutes. We're going to do the blessing the speech again. So Matt can kindly put it up for us. So most of the time you just, you meditate. I'll say the words and you only have to open your eyes just to say the Sanskrit syllables if you don't know them yet. So what this is, just again, background for this. It sounds peculiar, blessing the speech, doesn't it? We would never think like that. In our daily lives, I think we don't we think me, I do this, I say that, I think this. It's kind of big fat I is the label we use for all the bits, But this is this Buddhist approach is, and it even indicates the different levels of practice. We've got body, we do actions with our body. We both benefit and harm with our body. We do actions with our speech. And then we do actions with our mind, which underpin the actions of the body and the speech. So in terms of practice, it's kind of interesting. This takes us time to hear this. When I first heard it, I thought it was just kind of boring, And the very first level of practice in Buddhism is you control your behavior. So what's behavior? Behavior is what you do with your body and your speech. In fact, most of the vows aren't to do with the mind, they're to do with body and speech. And it seems kind of odd that we make this distinction, but the more we think about it, actually, the more marvelous it is, the more powerful. Of course, it's the mind that drives everything. The mouth would not open and say one word if the thoughts weren't in the mind. The fist wouldn't punch that nose or hand over $5 if the mind weren't thinking it. Again, we kind of know this when we think about it, but we don't point it out. We don't join the dots. So it's really powerful. And it's really, so then why does behavior come first? Because it's the obvious, the grossest level. So if you can control your speech, then you got some chance to control your mind. You control your body, then you got the chance to control the mind that drives the body. The body and the mind are the servants of the body and the speech are the servants of the mind. So there's all these different practices. So this particular practice, it's so odd sounding that you bless your speech. Well, the most important offering of the Buddha to us sentient beings is his speech. And there's a statue behind me. Buddha looks very beautiful. We think how lovely, I'd love to be like that. But if he doesn't open his mouth and tell us the methods he used to become like that, you can't just pretend to look like a Buddha. It's sort of like trying to think by copying a picture of Federer, you become a tennis player. Don't be ridiculous. You need to see Federer, but he's got to open his mouth and tell you the methods. So speech is the most powerful. And in our daily lives, forget about leading people to enlightenment with our speech. We need speech that's powerful. We need speech that people believe, that people trust, that people, if you want something and you say, may I have this, you want it to happen. If you're running an organization, if you're a mother or a father, your speech is unbelievably important. But we don't think like this. We don't think to control our speech. And then we even think, well, I'm allowed to say what I like. It's only words we say. Because also we don't have the view of karma, which is that everything we think and do and say leaves seeds in the mind. So there's different ways of blessing your speech, making your speech more powerful, more useful. First is silence. So simple, it's embarrassing. Shut your mouth. And the second is literally saying positive words. And the more powerful one, this is from Tantra, is saying mantra. Saying the holy sounds, these Sanskrit sounds are said to be super powerful, So the mantras are made up of letters, and the letters is the alphabet, the Sanskrit alphabet. And they say it's pure, and it's kind of really pure and powerful. So this little practice, as we know if we've done it, includes the recitation of the various Sanskrit syllables. It seems such an odd idea, but when you get the background, it makes sense. So let's do it. So just be comfortable with your body. Your body doesn't meditate, but it's useful to have it in an appropriate position. You're back upright. Don't slump into the chair. If you're sitting in a chair, don't slump into the chair. Hold yourself upright. Put your feet on the ground and hold yourself upright. That helps the mind not become dull, Your head slightly tilted forward. Jaw relaxed. Just be very natural. Eyes looking down, beneath your eyelids. So first, if we received an empowerment, we manifest ourselves as Buddha. If not, we just imagine Buddha above our crowns. Shakyamuni Buddha above our crown. And we say this sweet little refuge prayer. I take refuge in the three jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. I take refuge in the three jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. Konchog Sumla Kyabsu Chi Jola Penche Sangye Shok. So now, imagine, visualize on your tongue the syllable R. If you know Sanskrit or Tibetan, fine. If not, just the Roman letters AH. It stands upright on your tongue. And then on top of that, it turns into then the R turns into a moon disk, like a flat white cushion on your tongue. And then on that, on the white moon disk on your tongue, there now appears a white Om standing upright in the center. And then you imagine it's surrounded by the white vowels. Of course, we don't remember them or even know them, but just have to imagine all the white Sanskrit vowels standing upright clockwise around the Om on your tongue. And then counterclockwise, surrounding the Om and the vowels, are the red consonants. All these letters standing up, all very radiant. And then surrounding them, surrounding the Om, the white vowels, the red consonants, now the blue syllables of the, as Rinpoche calls it, the dependent related heart mantra, which we might otherwise say the mantra of dependent arising, surrounding clockwise all the others. So in the center Om, then the white vowels clockwise, the red consonants counterclockwise, and then the dependent related heart mantra syllables clockwise, all on your tongue, all standing upright, all radiant and delicious, made of light. So now, like we do when we visualize the Buddha, visualize the Buddha, and then you invite the wisdom beings and the light goes out. So it's the same here. The light goes out from all these letters to all the 10 directions of the universe. North, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, up and down. That's 10. Hooks the energy of the blessed holy speech of all the Buddhas, all the bodhisattvas, all the great yogis, all the practitioners, all the meditators, all the holy beings, even all the pure, the power of the perfect, appropriate speech, the wise, compassionate, appropriate speech, even of just good people practicing virtue. All this energy of this virtuous speech, wise speech, comes back with all those light beams and enters back into all these syllables, making them even more radiant, more marvelous, full of the power of speech of all the holy beings of the universe. Imagine that. So now we recite the vowels. And as we recite the vowels, you can see with the different practices, there's always these different ways of purifying body, speech, and mind. So here the same. It's about the speech, but we're purifying also the body and the mind. So here, as we recite the vowels, we imagine nectar pouring down and up from those white vowels on our tongue, delicious white nectar filling our entire body. And as we recite, we really imagine and want this nectar completely purifies all the karmic seeds in our mind, left there from all the countless actions of our body over countless lifetimes of harming others. All this is totally purified by this blissful white nectar filling us. Really imagine this, want this. How marvelous as we recite. Om, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, svaha. Om, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, svaha. Om, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, svaha. Totally purified. All the imprints of all the actions we've ever done since beginning this time with our bodies, full of this blissful nectar. And now we very happily recite the red consonants, the consonants, and then as we do so, powerful red nectar drips down from these letters up and down and fills our entire body. And this time it purifies all the karmic seeds left in our mind from countless lives, mostly as humans, isn't it, of harmful speech. You know, the lying, the bad-mouthing behind backs. It's our favorite. Harsh speech, you know, abusing people. And all the just rubbish speech, you know, just pouring out our mouths, wasting our speech, just nonsense. All of this since beginning of this time, totally purified, filling us with this blissful red nectar. Om ka ganga cha jana ta dana ta dana pa bama yada lava sha haksa svaha. Om ka ganga cha jana ta dana ta dana pa bama yada lava sha haksa svaha. Om ka ganga cha jana ta dana ta dana pa bama yada lava sha haksa svaha. Totally full of this blissful red nectar. All our rubbish speech completely purified. And now, very, you know, this now coming from the blue dependent red heart mantra syllables on our tongue, blue nectar, sort of like the sky, nice bright sky. Santa Fe is a very nice bright sky, summer and winter. Not yet, it's just about coming now. This blue light, blue nectar, completely pouring down, filling us completely. And of course, this time purifying the source of all the problems, the mind, the delusions, the ego grasping, the ignorance, this ego grasping, this self-grasping, this belief in the intrinsic me, deep in the bones of our being, so subtle, so pervasive, so total, that even when we hear the words, we don't understand because it's so complete. So completely pervades our mind and underpins all the other rubbish, the attachment to get what that fantasy I wants, and then the panic attack of aversion, anger, annoyance, frustration, irritation, depression when it doesn't get what it wants, and all the other delusions that come out of these three. The Buddha has found from his own direct experience that these states of mind are not intrinsic to us, are not integral to our being. They're adventitious. Therefore, they can be removed. This is the key finding of the Buddha. This is the basis of all Buddhist practice, that these delusions are not at the core of our being, and that we can therefore can remove them. So imagine now totally annihilated by this radiant blue nectar, completely filling us. How amazing. As we recite the mantra, the dependent related heart mantra. Om yedama hetu pabhawa hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan shayo niroda evam vadimaha shamanaya svaha. Om yedama hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan shayo niroda evam vadimaha shamanaya svaha. Om yedama hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan shayo niroda evam vadimaha shamanaya svaha. Totally annihilated all the delusions. Can you imagine? What else is left once they're gone? This is the point to think. What is left when they are gone? Well, what else? The virtues, the goodness. This is at the core of our being. You can't remove this. This is a very fascinating concept. We should think about it. You can't remove love, compassion, kindness. Why? Because they're related to reality. Reality is dependent arising. Reality is everything is interdependent. Well, check your mind when you're angry, depressed, jealous, low self-esteem. It's the opposite to dependent arising. There's this feeling of a concrete, solid, isolated, separate, lonely, bereft me. Isn't it? No connection to anything, just misery. Because delusions are not in touch with reality. They're not in sync with reality. Reality being dependent arising. But the virtues are. Check the last time you were loving, kind, generous. You were connected to others, weren't you? That's dependent arising in play. Things were harmonious. That's dependent arising. So virtues are at the core of our being. They're the conventional nature of our mind. As well as wisdom coming from this is clarity, wisdom, love, compassion, kindness, generosity, all these qualities. How amazing. We're full of these. Imagine delusions gone, fear gone, suffering gone, because they're the cause of suffering. Imagine this, full of this blissful blue light, no blue nectar. So now think that our mind being full of wisdom and clarity and goodness, then the speech that comes as a result of this, that comes from that, that's driven by that, and the actions of our body driven by virtue and goodness and wisdom, they can only be beneficial, can't they? It's so logical. Your body and speech now are perfect. Do whatever benefits sentient beings. Can you imagine? But in particular here, the speech, we imagine now full of the power of speech. They call it the power of speech, and even indeed the power of truth. Dependent arising is said to be truth. Buddha didn't make it up. He observed it. It's natural. He articulated it. So now being in touch with this, our speech is perfect. Whatever we say benefits whoever hears us. Imagine this. This is our potential. How amazing. Whatever you say, it's useful. So now imagine the dependent related heart mantra on our tongue, the blue one, dissolves into the white consonants, the red consonants. The red consonants dissolve into the white vowels. The white vowels dissolve into the white om. And the om kind of melts into the white moon disk. And the moon disk turns into an ah. And the ah turns into pink-colored nectar and dissolves into your tongue. So now think your tongue is so marvelous to think this. It's indestructible. Think like this. It's so odd to think of your tongue like this, isn't it? It's wonderful. I love it. Your tongue is indestructible. Lama Zopa says even you feel it's very heavy. Nothing can take away, nothing can disturb the power of your speech. And whatever you say, even good morning, benefits whoever hears you. You have the power of speech. Everything you say is true, appropriate, kind, wise. People do your wishes. People listen to you. People value your speech. We need this to function in the life, full of the power of speech. How amazing. As Rita says, the power of your speech becomes marvelous. And everything you say, everything, especially your prayers now, your prayers and your recitations and your mantras, the power of them is multiplied by millions of times. Your speech is powerful. And then we can just say this little dedication prayer. So sweet, so unlikely. May my tongue have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the power manifesting from these glorified words, may all sentient beings be subdued. And whatever words I say, may all these actions be accomplished instantly. So now, just kind of space out. Feel that you're, imagine the Buddha dissolving. Imagine the Buddha dissolving into you. Or if it's in your heart, or you are the Buddha, just dissolve. The Buddha dissolves into you. And then you imagine you just expand. Feel that your energy, your mind, if you like, expands to fill the universe. Light, spacious, clear, and no thoughts. No thoughts. I mean, yes, he would do this sometimes. And he'd say zero. Zero. Okay. As vast as space. Blissful and clear. And then now you think, now you think for the rest of the day, however long your day is, you're making a decision. You're going to you're going to control, harness, discipline your body and your speech. And why? Because this is what other people see. This is all they see. People don't see our minds. They see what comes out of our mouth, and they see our body. That's what they think of. That's what they see. So a bodhisattva, their aspiration, their wish, they don't need a certain level of development. You don't need a body, but you consciously take bodies. Why? To benefit sentient beings. So think of your body and speech is for the benefit of others. This is something incredible to cultivate. When we're so caught up in our own misery, we just think it's me and I'm allowed to do what I like. I'm allowed to say what I like. Sure you are. But we don't have any sense of the impact upon others. So think when you're meeting other sentient beings that you're there for them, whatever it is, whether it's the ant, the dog, the mouse, the human. And then your mind, that's your business. Watch it like a hawk. And in this way, you make every second of your day useful. And that's it, sweetie pies. Thank you so much, everybody. Gone like a dream, 30 minutes, but we made a lot of use of 30 minutes. As many moments as there have been, there's as many seeds we planted in our minds, okay? Much love, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robina.
Bye, people. Bye, darlings.
Thank you, Venerable.